You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Challenge us at Wexford Insurances 0818 31 30 30.
I'm joined now by Jacqui Hynes, the General Manager of the National 1798 Centre based in Enniscorthy. Jacqui, start by telling me a bit about your own background, please.
Yep, I'm born and bred and still living in Duncormac, didn't venture very far from home. My background is in archaeology and folklore, so I have a degree in a Bachelor of Arts degree and a Master's then on the folklore of the 1798 rebellion. And for my insanity then, just last November, qualified as a primary school teacher. So plenty of expertise and skills, hopefully, to bring to the job here.
Folklorist, I don't come across too many of those. What brought you down that particular path?
I suppose as a family that lives on the one road, we would have been very interested and brought around to, down with our grandparents. We'd have been very close to our grandparents and listening to the older people as they came in and out. So a very rural family and a rural background. So would have had an interest in, history, local stories, local folklore, local traditions, local customs, what it was like to live in Ireland years ago. So that would have taken us into folklore. There was a module in archaeology on folklore, which really interested me. So you take up folklore in UCD in second year, so there was only 3 in our class. So during the degree we would have looked at funeral customs and traditions and trades, and then as I was coming home from college one evening, I saw a picture mirror in a florist in Gorey that said 1798 1998, and when I did the maths and it was a 2-year Masters of Literature degree, I thought okay, maybe I might graduate in 1998. So there was no higher logic to it, only a mirror in a shop in Gorey.
Oh, but I suppose the job here in the 1798 Centre was made for you on that basis, because I wouldn't think that there's too many people out there that would have done a thesis on the centre itself or on the 1798 itself.
No, it's very, very rare. So there is only, there was only one job that I was qualified to do. So fortunately for me and unfortunately for others, I guess the position became available in 2010 and I went for interview and thankfully was successful with it. But I think there's a lot of skills that are involved in management. So a knowledge of the rebellion is probably the smallest part of it. It does help, but you learn skills and trades as you go along that help you in management.
So before we talk about your role from 2010 on, I'd like to just go back in time. The 1798 rebellion, tell me a little bit about that for those that wouldn't be familiar with it.
Just give you a very quick synopsis of it though. It really is 3 words: liberty, equality, fraternity. So it's the ideals of the United Irishmen in an attempt to create a more equal country for all of its citizens. So we're very clear here, this isn't about religion, it's not about nationality. We have school children that come in on school tours and we explain to them, you know what teacher has taught you last week on the rebellion, because the rebellion is thankfully on the primary school curriculum and optional on the secondary school curriculum. And we go, yeah, forget it, because history is not that black and white. So as I said, the United Irishmen were formed by 4 Protestants and 4 Catholics. So it's not about religion. It's not about British against Irish, because at the time Ireland was governed by King George III and the members of the British Army were actually Irish. So we try and challenge people's perceptions of the rebellion and then get them to leave here with either a little bit more information or a lot more information, depending on their level of interest.
How is it so relevant to Enniscorthy?
The main battle of the 1798 rebellion took place on Vinegar Hill, which is just, we can sometimes see it from the 1798 Centre, but you get a fabulously clear picture of it from Enniscorthy. It was the defining battle of the rebellion. It was when 20,000 men, women and children, rebels, were up on Vinegar Hill and surrounded by 10,000 members of the Crown forces who were highly trained and highly skilled. So the largest battle of the rebellion. And that's why in Enniscorthy and Wexford we're so passionate about it. Our job in Wexford in 1798, our only job was to prevent the Crown forces from going up to Dublin. We had no other role than that in it, but somehow in Wexford there's something in our blood that means we take up any battle or any skirmish and we go with it. So we wound up actually driving the battle for the 4 weeks that the rebellion was underway.
Now, the centre itself was opened in 1998, celebrating a 200-year commemoration in relation to it. But who got the brainwave to open the centre, and how was it funded?
It was actually a committee of Camorra and Nogahook, so it would have been a committee of local business people and local community reps. And they came together, I think, in 1996, really, to make a concerted effort to fundraise for it. When you come into the 1798 Centre, you see a whole load of names above on either side of reception, and they're members of the Wexford Senate. Some historians suggest that in Wexford in 1798 they actually created a Senate or a public order committee similar to they had in France. So 1998's Wexford Senate was an attempt to recreate that, but was also the fundraising mechanism. So each of those senators there, and they're made up of both corporate and 2 representatives from each parish, were asked to contribute £2,000. In theory, 500 senators, so that's the £1 million of matching funding that was required for the Bord Fáilte grant. So funded through the percentage that had to be found internally, and then Bord Fáilte grant aid.
Quite a novel way to fund the development itself, I have to say. You took up the position of General Manager at the 1798 Centre in 2010. What was your first task?
I suppose my first role as the manager was to try and figure out where the company wanted to go, where we wanted to take people's awareness of the rebellion. So with the support of the board and support of Wexford County Council and Enniscorthy Town Council, we undertook a feasibility study entitled Interpreting a Battlefield. And that was undertaken with Dr. Ronan O'Flaherty, which looked at the 1798 Centre and Vinegar Hill battlefield, because we have to remind people that it is a battlefield. And then to a lesser extent Enniscorthy Castle, because Enniscorthy Castle is also within our remit here as well. So what do we want here? What's the message we want to give? What visitors do we want to target? From the feasibility study, then we developed an overarching brand called Knights and Rebels Experience. That then led to an application for grant aid from Wexford Local Development, and as part of a process to source grant aid from Fáilte Ireland, then we have to undertake, and we've done that as well, a marketing plan, an interpretive plan. So a whole set of plans, a business plan as well. So a whole bank of plans that now point us in the direction of where we want to go, who we need to target, and how we do that, and how we do that then on a monthly basis.
I'm interested in finding out a little bit more about the tourism numbers and the type of tourists that the centre is attracting.
Our visitors, combined visitors for both sites, are about 30,000 per annum, and it's our intention to increase those by 15% per year. So, good, measured, steady increases then over 5 years will bring us to where we want to be. So hopefully, and we're quite enthusiastic, and we're certain that the interpretation that we've put in will give us those numbers. But where do we market? And all that feeds in then into a marketing campaign where we identify our targets. Who are the audience that we want to target? So primarily they're the domestic market, and they would be our number one visitor. Then we have the UK market who come over. They're aware of the rebellion. They're aware of the history. They're aware that it's the Crown Forces that are involved. They come in here and they appreciate that we explain the story straight down the middle. So, like I was saying to you, this isn't the Nationalist Centre, it's the National Centre. So we call it as it is. And for our second biggest market, they appreciate that. We then have links to France with the French Revolution, and then to America with the American War of Independence. So they would be our top 4 markets. The rebellion then also has links out to Australia. So we hope that we can capture visitors that are coming further afield, that are spending maybe a month in Europe, that will pick us up that way. We certainly don't expect anybody to travel to Australia just to see us. But now that we have our product offering right, we're clear on the direction that we want to go in, we can now go out and we can market to the coach tour market, to the senior citizens market, active retirement groups, school tours, to the free independent traveller, and then create a network throughout Ireland and throughout the British Isles of battle sites, and then put together a package that might interest coach tours coming over for 8 days that would do a tour around, similarly to whether you would do a tour of World War II sites on the continent. The site here, Vinegar Hill Battlefield, is that significant. It is one of only a very few handful of battlefields that are intact from the period and so close to an urban site. So it really is a gem in the county and a gem in the country, and our job then with our marketing team is to ensure that we promote that to the best of our abilities.
Next, I'd like to talk to you about, what it does and how it supports the local economy in Enniscorthy, how well you work with other stakeholders from the retail element and across the tourism sector.
Yeah. We have here, between the 98 Centre and Enniscorthy Castle, 14 staff on a permanent and on a part-time and a full-time basis. So, it's quite a significant contributor to the local economy. The staff that get paid here go and spend their wages locally. We work very closely with... I'm a member of Enniscorthy Tourism, and myself and Colm Neville then are members of Visit Wexford, which is the county tourism committee. We work very closely with the hotels, closely with the bus providers. We work with a local lady with Enniscorthy Heritage Trail. So she goes and she collects the visitors in the hotel. She brings them to here, the centre, the castle, to the hill. So we work with anybody who can provide any support, and we can provide any support to them. We work closely with the Chamber of Commerce then as well. The centre here uses local suppliers and local retailers, so we work collectively together to promote the county with the festivals as well. The festivals are as important to tourism in Enniscorthy and in the county as well. So the likes of Street Rhythm, Strawberry Festival, Riverside Jump, we'll have events on for Halloween, for Easter, the St. Patrick's Day Committee. The centre and the castle are core to tourism in the town, but we're part of a team and we work together.
Well, Jacqui, you're certainly doing lots to attract tourists into Enniscorthy, and I suppose most importantly for yourself into the National 1798 Centre itself. But on the larger scale, let's look at the county itself. I know you're the chairperson as well of the Wexford Heritage Trail. What's that about?
That's a network of 32 tourist attractions throughout the county, supported by Wexford Local Development and Wexford County Council. We've come together to work together, to promote each other, to encourage visitors to move around the county, visit each other's sites, and ultimately to encourage people to stay longer in the county, be aware of what's around them and the wide variety and diversity of tourist attractions that are there for them to come and visit. Now, the key reason I've asked you to come in and join us this morning is in relation to the reenactment. You have a very busy weekend ahead of you. Tell our listeners what that's about, please. We have about 300 reenactors going up onto Vinegar Hill on Sunday, and we're going to have a bit of a kick-ass reenactment up there. Today, though, we've just fed 70 reenactors in the 98 Centre. We're then I'm going to race back up the road, be back, get my pikeman gear on. I'm not a red coat today. Get my pikeman gear up, march up to Fair Green for 1 o'clock, where we're going to have a skirmish down the town till 2 o'clock, so about an hour. So down by the cathedral is where you're going to see very close quarters combat, firing of weapons, so it'll be a good old chance to get up close to the muskets. And then from 2 o'clock in Market Square we have music, we have craftspeople, we have stalls. Mary White will be foraging for rebel food. We have a talk over here. Joe Murphy is talking about his book, and tomorrow the bar will cross. 4 o'clock I'm giving tall tales from the rebellion, so that's for children. The redcoats will be over in the castle. They'll be doing floggings and interrogations. They're marauding around the town looking for any suspected United Irishmen, and the pikemen will be over here drilling. Sunday is the big day. We'll leave Fair Green, which is the top of the town, at 1 o'clock. We'll parade through the town up to the hill for 2, and then we have just knocking 10 bells out of each other battle with 5 cannons, 70 muskets, and that's going to be the best fun altogether. We have music up on the hill from 12:30. The Lions Club have a barbecue up there as a fundraiser, so the town is alive for the weekend. That's great. Tourist numbers, what are you hoping to attract over the course of the weekend itself? We're hoping 8,000 to 10,000 over the weekend, over the 2 days. Hopefully half of those will be on the hill on Sunday, but that it will be Ireland's largest battle reenactment and promises to be a fantastic spectacle altogether, not to be missed. And I'm sure the retailers feel very privileged that something like this is taking place in the town itself, because there will be a spin-off
for them, of course.
Absolutely. Most of the events are taking place in Market Square, Rafter Street, Church Street, so in the heart of the town. So that's our contribution back, and our gesture of thanks back to the retailers, that we'll try our best to bring people into the town for them, and we'll do that throughout the year then as well. So this is only one of the events that we'll have throughout the year.
You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Think Wexford Insurances for your business insurance.